So I'm 25. I still live at home, no kids, and yes, I do feel behind sometimes. If you're watching this from your childhood room, just keep watching because I think you'll be able to relate, but I think this video is going to give you a little bit of motivations too. So in this video, I want to give a little bit of a story on why I'm still at home, what I've learned while living at home, and why I think I'm now ready to finally move on to that next step of moving out. Okay, so just a little backstory. In 2024, I graduated college from ODU. Shout out to Monarchs. I graduated ODU and I went back into property management. I was in property management before I went into ODU while I was in a community college, but I was also babysitting. It was just kind of like, it wasn't part-time, it was full-time, but I just more so took it more serious, I guess, when I left ODU and I was just like, I need a job. Let me go back to my old job. So after graduating ODU, I'm like, yeah, I need to get a job. I go back into property management. And, you know, while I'm there, I'm just thinking to myself, like, oh, I need to kind of get like something else started. Like, I don't know why I thought property management wasn't really like something that I was going to take serious. I ended up getting a job with the government as a contract specialist. I made a video about that and why I quit, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but I did end up quitting. I only lasted for 6 months. That was from this year of January 2025, and then I quit in August. So after I quit that government job, I went back into property management because it was, again, just another comfort zone for me. And I just thought to myself that it would be better for me to at least go back into something I'm comfortable with, especially after dealing with that government job, because I was just so much, like, so stressed and I got so much anxiety from that job. So I needed to go back into something I felt a little bit more comfortable with while trying to figure out my life, pretty much. Oh, and I do want to keep one other point in there, that I stopped talking to somebody that I had known for like 3 years. And it was kind of like one of these relationships where you kind of like assumed it wasn't going to go anywhere, but you
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I guess you would call it a situationship. And that was kind of like the breaking point for me, basically, that I was like, yeah, I need to get my life together, pretty much. So now we're in the present time where I am still currently in property management. I do love what I do, but let's talk about why I am still living with my parents and I'm 25. Let's talk about that. I know I'm flopping all over the story, but I just want to point out that while I was at ODU, I did not stay in the dorms. I stayed with my parents even while I was in college. So that adds a little backstory, that even while I was, like I said, in college, I did not get like the college experience, which was totally, like, I'm not blaming anybody. That was definitely a choice that I made. But that also adds to my lack of independence right now. So I just want to point that out. So basically, I pretty much lived with my parents my entire life. I pretty much had a roof over my head my entire life, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm extremely grateful for that. So I do not want to like say that, oh my God, I'm just like, no. I totally understand that people in other situations haven't had this, I don't want to call it like a luxury, but you know what I mean? Like, some people have got way other situations where they've had to leave the house. Thankfully, I haven't. And even while I've been here, I can just be open with you guys to say that I don't pay rent here. I do try to get like my own stuff, but a lot of the times, like, I don't pay rent. I do try to pitch in for like some of the stuff that we do in the house, but like I said, I'm very grateful for the living situation that I have, for sure. While I have lived at home my entire life, I do feel like it feels like to me like I've never had my own space. I'm gonna be quite honest, like, my dad literally sleeps, like, at this point at the bedroom that's literally right across from me. Like, so it's to a point where I definitely feel like now I'm like close. Like I literally have no really personal space other than my room. And I mean, I have a nice size room. I have a lot of clutter for sure, but that clutter comes from literally me only having my room as space. Like if I had a living room or something, then a lot of this stuff wouldn't be in here. And then I also have, my bathroom is not in my room, it is across the hall. So I know these sound like really like first world problems, but yeah, I just feel like I am in due of my own space, if that makes sense. Another cue for me that it really is time for me to move is that a lot of my friends now, pretty much almost all my friends, peers, people that I work with, they all have moved out. A lot of them have moved out with the partners, a lot of them have moved out on their own. A lot of them have kids now. Almost all my friends have kids at this point or are pregnant. And it definitely does sting sometimes, and I'm not saying it out of a jealous or envious way, but it does feel like I can't relate sometimes. And it's hard not to compare yourself in life. I've always tried to tell myself, do not compare yourself. Everything is on your timing and God's timing. And you can't control what you can't control. Does that make sense? So like I try not to compare myself to my friends' lives or my peers' lives, but it definitely does, have its moments when I'm just like sitting in my bed and still, sitting here like, oh, I can't do certain things because I don't have my own place, pretty much. Now, I do want to highlight the positives though. I am grateful, like I said again, that I have been able to save money. I know a lot of my friends always tell me like save while you're still at home. So I have been taking that way more seriously now than I ever was. Like even a year ago, the old me was not thinking smart at all. And I also want to point, not only are you saving money when you do live with your parents, but you are getting an opportunity to kind of have your mind at ease when you do have a lot of bills to pay. And I know I said I've not really had them, but from other people's point of view, when you do have a lot of bills to pay, it weighs on your mind. So if you do live at home, use this opportunity to, either dial up on your skills or start a hobby or start a business. Like do things that you would not be able to do if you did have your own place, and you're thinking about how you're going to pay this and how to pay that in the car and all that stuff. So that is a plus about living with your parents. You do get a good buffer on like time. And I think of it like when you're living at home like a bird. So you have a bird, there's a tree, and it's a little bird, and it's like, I need to fly, and the mom's like, yeah, you do kind of need to fly. And it's scary because you literally have to jump, but hopefully the bird just ain't fall out, but you took the time, you've grown up a little bit, you practice maybe fluttering the wings, and at some point you have to jump. Like you can't just sit there forever and wait until what you don't want to do is wait until somebody pushes you off. So this is all making sense. I hope it's making sense, please. But you have to take that initiative at some point. And I think that's kind of where I'm at now. I feel like I've been in the nest. I've seen other people fly. I've got, a little bit of experience in life now. And I think for me, at least, it's a point where I feel like I'm ready to jump, if that makes sense. And another thing I want to point is, if you are still living at home, don't take it as a failure. It's not a failure. You're not a failure. You have to take it as this is what you've been preparing for. You've been preparing for this moment. Don't take it as oh, I'm just 25 and I'm still sitting here and no, like I used to do that. Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth the pain. Okay, so you're at the point where you're now ready to jump. We've gotten past that. You're ready to jump. I'm with you. I'm there with you. We both there. We both ready to jump. So what do we have to do? So for me, if you guys are new to this channel, My channel is based about moving abroad, specifically to the Dominican Republic. I've talked about it numerous of times. I'm basically documenting my story from start to finish, or my journey from start to finish on me moving abroad. So watch videos or subscribe if you're interested. But for me, that's my big plan now with me being at home. I do want to open my own business there. I have made different plans and goals and stuff that I will be sharing with you guys in a couple other videos about how to budget and everything properly. But the big thing is to, like I said, use this opportunity, but also you want to make sure that you have a big plan for yourself, you know. And it's not like I'm saying you have to go and, you know, do something like what I'm doing, which is deciding you want to move across the country, into out of the country. But you have to have some sort of plan, right? So that is where I would start now. If you are ready to move, just start with a basic plan. Your job, your where you want to be at, where you want to live at, that sort of thing. Okay, and last thing I want to say is just to give you guys a little bit of that push that you might need. I do feel like until you do end up moving outside of your parents' house, there is almost a little bit of, and it's not intentional, I'm sure that they don't mean to, but it is a little bit of a lack of respect that you do get. You're always going to get treated almost like a child because you haven't shown that you're an adult yet, because an adult technically should be able to, you know, live on their own, be able to sustain themselves. And until you do that, it's hard for, like, your parents are always going to look at you like you're their baby, because you are, no matter how old you get. But once you do move out, there is a little bit more of respect that you will get from your parents that you wouldn't get when you do live at home. So all in all, if you're 25 or whatever range you're in, if you're in that 23, or if you're, you know, at 23, that's still kind of young because, like, you just graduated. But if you're 25 and you're, like, or 28, whatever, however old you are, don't beat yourself up. Use this time, like I said, to do the things that you know you have to do. And just remember that everybody's timing is totally different. Everybody's life is going to go totally different than every other person's. And you just have to, basically what I'm saying is you don't have to follow the traditional path in life. Like, you might be 25, you know, still living at home, but you don't know in a year from now how your life is going to turn out. Like, you literally have no clue. And that's what I keep telling myself. Like, in a year from now, my life could be totally different. And you just have to remind yourself that, and that, like I said, your timing is totally different from the next person's timing. So yeah, if you're in a similar situation, leave a comment in this video. Let me know what you guys think about moving out. What's the right age you think it's, you know, to move out? What you should be doing if you haven't moved out. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It doesn't hurt. It's literally free. It's a free thing to do, please. And subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, if you want me to talk about any other topics. And stay tuned for my other videos that I have regarding moving abroad and my plans. And I think that's it. Anyways, see you guys in the next video.